Hey, it's Soncerae here, and I posted a video about black men exploiting black women for money. And a couple of men decided to make a few comments saying that black women should take accountability for their actions. And I should have known that was coming, you know? I've always appreciated the perspectives and comments from the men on my YouTube channel. They've always been a delight to me. Now, granted, I had a whole bunch of trolls because of Tommy Sotomayor, but for the most part, I always like to see the perspectives of men. Since I first started posting videos on YouTube in 2008, I've always been completely honest about my relationships, poor choices in men, successful relationships, my bisexuality, the swingers lifestyle, and my modeling career, finances, relationship with my daughter, my celibacy, and my religion. Most importantly, in the 7 years I've been here, I've always spoken about my mistakes. On my channel, I've spoken publicly about being molested by my father for many, many years, about being raped, having a threesome with 2 men, being a mistress, all of the lessons I've learned and taken accountability for. I've always been extremely honest about who I am. I spoke about losing my life partner. I spoke about being on drugs and alcohol. I spoke about being beat by black men and being catered to by black men. I spoke about my relationship with Daddy-O and how good he was to me. I also spoke about my opinions in relation to black men and how they represent themselves on YouTube. I spoke honestly about my failures and successes. I always took accountability because I thought it was fair to do so since 75% of my audience was male. I wanted men to see my life from a woman's perspective, from this side, because men only see women from their side. So I wanted them to see how I see my life. The biggest mistake I made this year was collaborating with Minister Jab. The reason for the collab was to tap into his female audience. I believe that more women were watching him because of how attractive he is. I knew that most of my male audience came from how attractive I am. Putting 2 attractive people in a video together made sense for us to cross-promote. But once his personal feelings spilled over into a public forum is when shit started going down the drain. I noticed that he had some disdain for single mothers, and I no longer wanted to do any video collabs with him. And I brought this to my audience's attention, which is not something out of the ordinary because I'm usually extremely honest with my audience. This was an absolute waste of time and one of the worst choices I've made in men, trust me. I lost 40% of my male audience when he went on a rant of trying to display me as if I was a whore that had hid the fact that I had been inside of the swingers lifestyle 5 years ago and that I was pretending to be celibate, using a former sex partner of mine as a tool for his smear campaigning, also using male YouTubers who bash black women as a crutch, such as Tommy Sotomayor and Angry Man. He tried to start a war between hardcore Tito and I, planted evidence in my Gmail box that Tito had served time for sexually assaulting a white girl. He knew it was a tender spot for me, so he thought, hey, he was beefing with Tito. Might as well try to get me to do so. Didn't work out that well. For months and months, we went back and forth on YouTube, which was extremely draining. I started seeing men who supported me like Lamar Wills, the one called LA, participate in smearing campaigning me, posting videos saying that I lied about my celibacy, not even realizing that I participated in the swingers lifestyle 5 years ago and have been celibate for the past 2 years. I was always honest, like I've always have been. I took accountability for all of my actions and choices. But what good did that do for me? I still got called a hoe, fat, whore, tranny, bitch, slut. Some people think I was a stripper. There's people going out there saying that I sold my pussy. People ask me every day, why did I let Minister Jab run a train on me? Not even knowing that me and Minister Jab ain't even never met each other in person. In 2016 alone, I made over 50 videos exposing black women for the mistakes they had made inside of relationships. I touched on topics in relation to motherhood, marriage, and friendship. Alongside these videos, I made more supporting black men, encouraging them to be better men. Yet the only videos black men seem to have commented on or viewed were videos where I spoke specifically about the mistakes black men have made, or if they agreed with my viewpoints in relation to the black female collective stereotypes. What I've noticed is that most men simply don't want to take accountability themselves. Deflection takes focus away from the accusation. So I kind of understand why they do this. I mean, seriously, who wants to say that they're wrong or haven't been doing what they're supposed to be doing? When I make videos about black men and how they should take lead inside of the community, the first thing they tend to say is black women need to take accountability for their actions. Inside of the video I made called Black Men Exploit Black Women, every man that came to make a comment overlooked the most valuable part of the video, which was basically me telling everybody what happens when I take accountability for my actions. Men tend to have selective hearing and go blind when it's time for them to do what they're supposed to do and take responsibility responsibility. On the topic of accountability, I specifically said verbatim, and I'm not surprised that I have to repeat this. Anytime I've shown some kind of vulnerability or femininity, I've been chastised. Black males lack compassion, love, loyalty, and forgiveness, yet want black women to offer those qualities. Even if I've made a series of mistakes in the past and have offered some kind of remorse or temperance and virtue, instead of you accepting as a black man that you could have possibly affected change in me and opened your heart with welcome arms, instead you celebrated my apology as some type of failure, as if it's some kind of victory, or you mushed my nose in my own shit like I'm some kind of canine who made an accident on the carpet. Excellent black men don't look the other way when they see a black woman having a hard time. They don't call her a whore, bitch, or any other derogatory name. They do not chastise a woman aggressively or judgmentally. They simply make it clear the expectations and consequences of not meeting them, providing positive reinforcement when women meet these expectations. Those comments that these men put on my video, it's like they overlooked me even saying any of that. Those comments prove that black men do exactly what I say they do in relation to leadership. They overlook their own responsibilities as providers and protectors and blame black women for all things under the sun that didn't go their way, when it's in fact their lack of leadership skills that have stripped them of their grasp on the black community. Most black males aren't strategic thinkers, and even when they are, they use those skills to manipulate women. Instead of building productive relationships, processing what's happening around them, avoiding and reducing conflict, looking at the big picture, they're shallow-minded and underdeveloped for reasons that may have nothing to do with them. But when they do find out that they are in fact headed in the wrong direction, they still don't take the proper steps to effectively change the direction. This is such a good example. Black men hate when black women swirl, correct? But these same black men promote other black men dating non-black women. They rush towards non-black women as if it's some kind of remedy. Black men in America and abroad wrestle with self-esteem, self-hate, and colorism issues as much as black women, and interracial dating is just one of the many ways those issues manifest themselves. That story is always told through the lens of black women being undesirable rather than focusing on why some black men believe or are taught marrying outside of their race and having biracial children is still the only way they can be accepted in society, even if they change their direction and obtain personal successes. Black men don't want to be leaders, and every time I say this, black men tell me that black women don't want to be led. No woman is going to flat out refuse the guidance of a man unless he himself has shown a significant amount of irresponsibility or inability to lead. We're still women, and we want to trust and love you as a black man, but we aren't given space and opportunity to do so. Do we try to understand black men and their struggles? Yes. However, black women don't care about the why anymore. We're tired of hearing that I didn't have my father figure in my life sob story, regardless of how valid it is. We didn't have our fathers either, and even if we did have our fathers, 9 times out of 10, most of them were pieces of shit. Now don't get it twisted, there's some good women out here with some good fathers, and they're still having problems with black men. Some black men say to me that they do want a relationship with a good black woman, but it's not any good black women out there. My question is, do you even know what you want? If you don't know what your destination looks like, you won't even know when you arrive. You won't even know when to stop looking. For the most part, a good black woman is probably standing directly in front of you. However, most of you are overlooking her to look at women you believe have the perfect finances or physical appearance, or some other shallow shit that has nothing to do with whether a woman can treat or love you right. Oh, then men hit me with the I want to work on myself bullshit, which is all wrong if you think you can do that alone. Good husbands will tell you that they have had a good wife or girlfriend who was objective and gave them a sense of direction, and that is what helped them get their lives together. You don't need piles and piles of money to get a decent woman. That's an old school standard that is now obsolete. It's 2016. Black women probably making more money than you anyway. We don't want your money. All we want is you. I hear this myth that no black man wants to marry a black woman. However, these black men aren't marrying these non-black women either. They're making non-black women baby mamas as well. If women required marriage from men, they wouldn't be in this predicament to begin with. If women felt like men were open to marriage and mentioning it would be considered a warning sign to men to dip the fuck out, most women would probably require it. Facts are, no one wants to be alone regardless of race or color. No one wants to think that their race, something completely out of their control, is the reason why they cannot achieve one of their relationship goals. You know how we're told that when an issue repeats itself, we need to examine our own role as the common denominator. I think about that often, so trust me, I have reviewed myself several times over. And 9 times out of 10, all women have, because we are our worst critics. We're harder on ourselves than you are. So don't misunderstand. Don't think we're not walking around trying to figure out what we did wrong first, because that's usually what's going through our mind initially. Even if I believe that was the problem, after speaking with every single man I've even taken seriously, their main reason for us not working out the way we should has had more to do with them feeling as if they're not ready and less to do with the fact that I'm black or somehow difficult to date. For the most part, I've always heard I'm cool, fun to be with, lovable, and easy to talk to. I've got compliments on how I'm a great mother, a great friend, a great girlfriend, and how much wife potential I have. No man I've ever been in a relationship with or have tried to date has burst out of nowhere and said, hey, because you're black, you're going to be difficult to date. Nor have they said, oh, you were in the swingers lifestyle 5 years ago. I don't think I want to date you. Because 9 times out of 10, black men are more concerned about who I am now, what kind of woman I am really. They aren't concerned about what they heard, and that's another thing. Black men gossip too much, and you listen to too much of what you heard instead of actually taking the time to get the research. Black men are in denial. While backtracking through news stories and blogs online about black women, it became clear that there is a variety of societal ills, and black men were to blame for black women ultimately beginning to reject them. Social media is a hell of a tool, and for the most part, black men have used it to classify all types of women, all things negative. While using a misogynistic frame, it's rare I see black men use social media to praise anyone but themselves. It is high time that our brothers realize the impact of their words, attitudes, and behaviors and seriousness when it comes to black women, and it is imperative that they take a stand in our defense when we're attacked on any basis. Anytime I've tried to love a black man or have tried to understand one, their response has been cruel, and I can't even be nice to a black man anymore. Just randomly walking down the street, I can't even be like, hey. Online and off, black men have shown to be some cruel ass people. A few black men have refused to talk to me privately about some personal issues they have taken to a public forum. Even when I reached out to them kind-heartedly and kept the lines of communication open, they have completely rejected the idea, meanwhile falling victim to the sexy light-skinned decoy that I sent in to probe them for information. They then spill their heart-outs and truths to a complete stranger that they still won't admit to the public. Okay? Privately saying all kinds of good things about me, apologies and all, but will not say it publicly. Spilling out all of their truth and their guts to a complete stranger because she's attractive, all off of her physical appearance. I will never be privy to the ins, outs, and intricacies of these men and their personal issues. However, your words on social media in relation to black women promote violence. It promotes more dehumanizing language in the name of subtly shaming us. It gives outsiders permission to be outright disrespectful because now everyone has collectively decided that all black women are thoughts. There's a particularly violent and disrespectful way we are shamed as a direct result of prevalent notions suggesting we are simultaneously undesirable and hypersexual. The tendency of men, even when they are in love or in a relationship, to act and speak about the black woman in their lives as though they are property and or disposable is something that black men need to take accountability for. So from what I see, we all got some work to do, and I've been saying that on this channel for 7 years. Black men and women have to work together. But in the eyes of most men that are watching this, I'm just a woman, and what I have to say goes in one ear and out the other, even when I have taken accountability. That is overlooked like everything else I say. Shouts out to the ladies who have taken over my channel. As of the end of November 2016, there are only 32% of black men watching my channel. My subscribers have raised significantly this year, and for the most part, they are all women. I appreciate the support, ladies. This year has been a tough year for me in relation to the fellas. Oh, the good part about all of this is that the trolls are damn near gone. So I can thank Minister Jab for that. I try not to give up on black men. I also take accountability for my actions all of the time, and I always will. That's part of what being a queen means. I'm a queen, but I have weak moments just like the next person. I appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. If you have any video topic suggestions, you can always visit me at Soncerae.com and fill out the form where you're welcome to email me at welovesoncerae@gmail.com, or you can text me at 678-856-3463, okay? Please be sure to subscribe to my other channel, Black Women Reloaded, okay? Have vision and stay focused. Namaste.